Hello there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. We're back again, and I suspect this is one of the commanders I'm starting to see more and more and more on MTGO at the moment, and it is loot, the key to everything. Blue, green and red for a 1-2 Beast Noble. Has Ward 1, so it does come in with some protection. But at the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of non-land permanents you control. You may play those cards this turn. Yeah, okay then. So we've got to play things from exile, that's fine. Yeah, and we want to have permanents in place so we get to do more and more and more of it. Obviously the permanent types, creature, artifact, enchantment. There's not many. Yeah, token. I don't know if token counts or not because it depends what they are. But, you're going to get 3 probably a turn, I would guess, with this deck. And being able to play them from exile can have some bonuses for some of the other cards we're looking at today. So, without further ado, if you can, please hit the subscribe button down below. There's 418 of you who have been very kind to subscribe to the YouTube channel so far. I really do appreciate you all subscribing. But if it's your first time here, if you could do it as well, help me get to my 500 target by the end of 2024. I'd really appreciate it. So, I'll finish the sales pitch. Here we go for the deck. So, start at the beginning. Need some multicoloured ramps. We do have a few things in here. So we've got Birds of Paradise at the start and Delighted Halfling. We do have a few legendary creatures in here, so we do need the coloured mana for them to come out. Obviously, we're playing a red deck. Yes, Dockside Extortionist is here. Yes, you can drop it out, although it has dropped a little bit on MTGO over the last week, I've noticed. Not much, by about a ticket and a half, but it has gone down a bit again. Goblin Archamancer is in here as well, just to cut the cost down of our red and green spells. Cammy of the Crescent Moon, because I wanted some way of drawing cards, and this is a creature that lets us draw cards. Lotus Cobra helps us with our mana ramping. Rataclaw Mystic makes an appearance for the first time in a deck in a long time, but this does give us the 3 colours we need, and if we do play it face down, then morph it face up, getting the 3 mana we gain, so like it costs 5, we gain 3, so it only costs us 2 to do. It's complicated, but it does work. Azusa, Lost But Seeking, means we can get our lands down even quicker. Dryad of the Elysian Grove, make sure that all our lands tap for any colour we need. The first payoff for playing cards from exile is Faldorn Dreadwolf. Whenever you cast a spell from exile or a land enters the battlefield under your control from exile, get a 2/2 wolf token, and then we can discard a card and exile the top card of our library and play it this turn if we need to. Haldan, Avid Arcanist, is also here. You may play non-creature spells, creature cards from exile with fetch counters on them if you exiled them. And you may spend mana as though it's mana of any colour to cast those spells. We have got his partner. A little bit further down is Paco. I'll just find Paco now and we'll go through Paco. There you go. When Paco, Arcane Retriever, attacks, exile top card of each player's library and put a fetch counter on them. Put a +1/+1 counter on Paco for each non-creature card exiled this way. So they do combo very nicely in this deck entirely. Klothys, the God of Destiny, at the beginning of our pre-main combat phase, exile target card from a graveyard. If it's a land, you get to add a red or green. Otherwise, you gain 2 and it deals 2 to each opponent. And it's any graveyard, not just yours. So your opponent's graveyard's a fair game. Lalia, the Blade Reforged, when we play 1 or more cards put into an exile, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on Lalia. So yep, that's all good, because with this in play and loot in play, you'll be getting at least +1/+1/+1 every turn. Nissa, Resurgent Animus, gives us a bit of another version of Lotus Cobra. Not many elves or elementals in here, so we're probably not going to find many of them, but yeah, it does help having it here for the mana ramp. Reclamation Sage, just so we can deal with those annoying artifacts and enchantments that might be slowing us down. Kellen, the Inquisitive Prodigy, gives us a clue token that we get to play an extra land, and when we attack we get to destroy 1 target artifact. If we control it, we get to draw a card. Okay, fine. Because one thing we can destroy is Solemn Simulacrum, so we get 2 cards after we got the basic land out for casting in the first place. Yep, got a red deck. It's got Bonehorde Dracosaur in. This one makes sense. We like exiling the cards from our library for all sorts of reasons, as I've just gone through. Camius Celebration lets us, whenever a modified creature you control attacks, exile the top card of our library, play it this turn. And whenever you cast a spell from exile, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Yeah, Loot Exile's thing, Cami gives us a lovely bonus for having them played. Paco I've talked about. Asi, the Tyrant of Gaia Strait, is also here. Extra land drop, and whenever a land enters the play on the battlefield under our control, we get to draw a card. That's 5/5 beta. And then we have Itali in Primal Storm form and the Primal Conqueror form, just to make sure we've got some big finishers. Keeper of Secrets makes an appearance from the 40k sets. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, it deals damage equal to that spell's value to target opponent. Since we're going to be casting things from exile a lot of time, this one made real perfect sense to have in the deck to me. Sage of the Beyond, whenever you spells you cast from anywhere other than your hand costs 2 less to cast, so that works very nicely and we can foretell it if we need to. And the Hunter, Tilkali Hunter, I think is how I'm going to say it from now on. Exile target creature card from your graveyard until the end of your next turn. You may cast that card, and then trample on once each turn. You may pay 0 rather than pay the mana costs for a creature you cast from exile. Yeah. We'll probably exile some of our cards with loot, and hopefully we can just pay 0 to get them back. Now, because we're looking at card types, the one I didn't mention was Planeswalkers and Battles, and I have gone a bit heavier on it, so start the video slightly wrong, so I did change it halfway through, so bear with me. Dak Faden, Oko Feast of Crowns, Sahili Ray, Sahili Sublime Artificer, Rennet and Realm Breaker are all here. They all have bonuses to do with, you know, Dak lets us pick someone's artifacts. Oko just, well, it's Oko, everyone hates it. Sahili just deals damage when we scry. Sublime Artificer gives us a little more servo creatures if we need them. Ren and Realm Breaker, if we can get the -7 off, you may place lands and cast permanent spells from our graveyard. It's very helpful, thank you. Plus the fact it means all our lands tap for 1 mana of any colour. Garrick Wildspeaker just untaps a couple of lands for us. Had to play Minsk and Boo. I've been wanting an excuse to pick this card up on MTGO for ages, and this seemed like the deck to pick it up from, you know. Little doggy, little beast nobles, probably like little hamsters that get bigger. So, yeah. Fair enough. Also got the Ringleader in here, the new version of Oko from OTJ. At the beginning of upkeep on your turn, Oko becomes a copy of up to 1 target creature you control until the end of turn, except he has hexproof. Okay. Discard 2. If you commit a crime this turn, discard a card, otherwise discard 2. -1, create a 3/3 elk creature token, and -5 for each other non-land permanent you control. Create a token that's a copy of that permanent, which is really nice when you've got some of the non-legendary creatures in play, if we can get that far. And Renin 7 also makes an appearance, so we can hopefully hit the -8 and return all permanent cards from our graveyard to our hand and get the emblem so we have no maximum hand size. Another type of permanent that comes into play are the invasions. So Eragamon, oh, here we go. When it comes in play, get a treasure token, then we can discard and draw, and then hopefully transform at some stage to get the True Guard Cliff Charger. Get it, and we discard and draw again, and then if we do, well, no, we discard, and if we do search our library for land or battle card, reveal it, put our hand, then shuffle. Okay, goes and gets us a land when it flips. Cool. Invasion of Ixalan basically means whenever you cast a spell, the Beleaguerant Regisaur, the 4/3 that it turns into, becomes indestructible until the end of turn. And when we do this, reveal and look at the top 5 cards of our library, reveal a permanent from among them, put it in your hand, the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. It's not bad for 2 mana at the end of the day. Invasion of Zendikar, though, just goes and gets us a couple of lands and turns into a big elemental that lets us tap for mana. And Invasion of Chandalar. Whoever played the old, do you remember the old Microprose game based on MTGO? Yeah, Chandalar was a plane that it sat in, for those of you who don't know your history. This comes into play, we turn up to 3 target permanent cards from our graveyard to our hand, and then when we can get it to flip to the Leyline Surge, at the beginning of upkeep, we just put a permanent card from our hand onto the battlefield. Like that. Because we're really interested in permanents, I'm going to be honest, I haven't gone too heavy on the spells. Some people will disagree with me undoubtedly about the land ramp stuff, but we have got Growth Spiral, Nature's Law, and 3 visits to help with that. Heroic Intervention means we can keep our permanents in play. Mana Drain gives us a control spell. And Jessica's Will gives us a bit of mana and a few cards if we've got loot in play. Not too much because I was really focusing in on the permanent side of things. Artifact wise, Elixir of Immortality, Senses Divining Top, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Medallion. I'm skipping through these because they're all common ones. The Emerald Medallion, Felwar, Lightning Greaves, Ruby Medallion, Sapphire Medallion, so helps, you know, the medallions I'll talk about a little bit, because we do need to cut down the cost of our cards when we're playing things from Exile, and they really do help us do that for obvious reasons. Swiftfoot boots are here, and then the Talisman of Creativity, Curiosity and Impulse, and then finally the one card I did like having in this deck, and I'm becoming a bigger fan of this as time goes on, is Chimley, the Inner Sun. Spells you control can't be countered for 6 mana, and then at the beginning of Renaissance we get to discover 5. Yeah, that means we do hit most of the stuff in our deck, believe it or not, from, well, Paco down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards we can't hit when we do the discovery. Yep, I'll cope with that in a deck. Thank you. Well, 7 if we count Waking the Trolls. Haven't got that far yet. But enchantments. Ristic Study for the annoying card draw. Case of the Locked Hothouse to get the additional land drops and then play things from our top of our library. Battle of Frost and Fire gives a bit of permanent board control. Deals full damage to each non-giant creature and each planeswalker. Thank you. And Waking the Trolls. Blow up someone's land, grab a land from a graveyard, and then hopefully get a whole load of green troll warrior tokens. Hopefully they will be controlling fewer lands than we do, so we at least get 1 or 2. Have dealt this off in the game, in this deck, when I was playtesting it as I built it. Did get off 7 at one stage, so yeah, that was cool. The rest of it, the usual selection of green, blue and red lands that you can think of having in a deck. Bristling Backwalkers, I've got all of 3 of the new desert lands in here that fit in the colour scheme. 4 forests, 4 islands, 3 mountains, Ketra Triome, and all the rest of it is everything else you would expect to see in a deck. Temple of the False God and Reliquary Tower included. But that's it for today's deck tech. Like I say, we're getting very close to the end of doing the OTJ stuff. Probably start doing some random commanders over the next few weeks. We have got one coming up later in the week, which is one I missed when it originally came out, which I'm correcting. But for now, I hope you've enjoyed this one about loot. Hopefully you've hit the subscribe button. If you want to see me play this, there's a link also down below to my Twitch channel. You can come watch me play them live on stream over there. A couple of people have stopped following me on Twitch, but you know, I've got 230 people over there as I record this, so if you hit the follow button, great. Really hope you can come and see me play them. If you've got an MTGO account, just jump in the chat and say I want to play. We'll get you in the next game that's running. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll either come back tomorrow, watch tomorrow's video, or I'll see you on stream very soon. Take care. Bye.